What's up guys, today we are having a look at the brand new DRH assault rifle in COD Mobile. This gun is based off the Scar H in real life, and a lot of you guys are already familiar with the shape, but you can tell it's not a Scar L, firstly by the name, it has the H in it, but also it has a 20 round magazine, it's a high damage gun, and to be a bit of a gun nerd for a little bit, the upper receiver and the barrel and magazine are all completely straight. The Scar L tends to be a lower damage weapon, it usually has 30 rounds in the magazine by default, and it has a few more curved edges where the Scar H has the straight lines, but that's not really the point of today's video. For this video, I wanted to show you guys the stats of this weapon, my kind of thoughts on it, how good I think it is and how I think you should use it, and of course I'll be giving you guys an attachment setup at the end. Before I get into all that though, I would love if you guys could hit the like and subscribe button on this video, but without further ado, let's get into it. As always, I'll start with the damage and range first. So the DRH is a 4-shot kill without the OTM ammo up to 25 meters, it's a 5-shot kill out to 35 meters, and past that it's a 6-shot kill. Now the OTM ammo, a lot of you guys are using it because you see extra damage and like who's not going to take that, right? And rightfully so, I do believe that's a good attachment, obviously spoiler alert for the later section, but how it works is it's that it basically just gives you an extra multiplier. In fact, I do believe it's the same as the headshot multiplier for the chest. Obviously, more damage means you'll be killing your enemies faster, so with the new OTM ammo, you'll be doing a 3-shot kill out to about 17 meters, a 4-shot kill out to 35 meters, and a 5-shot kill any place after that. That sounds really good, and honestly that is a really hard hitting weapon with quite good range, but one thing you guys really have to watch out for is that the arms don't count towards this multiplier, and a lot of the time when you're fighting an enemy, you'll be straight on and facing them, and the arms will be blocking a lot of the chest, so really, if you're up close and you can, try aim for maybe like the lower torso, or obviously go for the head if possible, but if you're on the flank or something, this will be really good. Just don't shoot them in the arms, obviously. You guys probably don't do that anyway, but yes, overall this gun has a very strong damage and range. For the next stat, rate of fire, this gun fires at 576 rounds per minute, so that is on the slower side of weapons or assault rifles for this game. Obviously in some games that would be really slow, but as I say quite often, the average rate of fire in COD Mobile is actually a little bit slower than a lot of shooters you guys are probably familiar with. The rate of fire is almost identical to the AK-47, it's ever so slightly faster, but the important thing is that it is faster firing than the other 3-shot kill assault rifles that are in the game, so that's the ASM-10 and the Man of War, so yes, this is the fastest killing assault rifle in the game. Next up I want to talk about recoil, and the DRH has quite a lot of vertical recoil and I would say a medium amount of horizontal recoil, but the nice thing about it is that it does tend to kick up and to the right pretty consistently, so in terms of like the kind of line that it goes up or the spray pattern that it follows when you're holding the trigger, it is predictable and you can get used to it with practice. But one other thing I will say about this weapon that's kind of unique is that there is quite a bit of like sort of screen shake when you're shooting. It's almost like having aim punch without actually being shot at, which will throw your aim off a little bit, and this gun probably does feel a little bit less stable than it actually is. If you guys have seen the new gunsmith with the 5 attachments in the test server, it also seems to be another kind of move towards making this game like Modern Warfare. I don't have a problem with that at all. In fact, I really enjoy Modern Warfare. I only stopped playing it because there's a like 60 gigabyte update every single time I log on, and I live in Australia and my internet's not that good, so unfortunately I don't really play that game anymore, but it was a lot of fun. Again, I'm getting a bit off track here, but overall, compared to other assault rifles in this game, I would say that this gun is a tougher one to control, not impossible, but definitely on the more difficult side. Before I get to handling, I usually don't really mention this, even though I probably should because all the magazines are kind of the same, but this gun has a 20 round magazine and a 28 round magazine with extended mag. It is smaller than normal and it is a bit annoying, but that is just the nature of the gun. The last section of the stats we'll look at is handling, and this is where I kind of look at the mobility of this gun, so how fast you move, also the aim down sight time and the reload time. So the DRH has a little bit of a slower movement speed than some of the other assault rifles, but the other stats are kind of average I guess, which is pretty alright for this game. Generally the assault rifles handle quite well in COD Mobile, they feel okay, they don't feel really slow to use. One thing you might definitely notice is the reload time because you burn through your mag like a lot, but other than that the handling is fairly average, maybe slightly on the lower end. What you'll notice in this game is that in a certain weapon class, like the handling of a weapon will kind of be, all those stats will kind of be linked together, so guns with good mobility tend to have good reload time as well. That's just like COD's way of simulating, hey, this gun, you know, it feels nice or it's light or whatever. That is all for the stat section of this video, but now I'll let you guys know just how good I think this weapon is and what sort of playstyle I think it suits. So the DRH, obviously it kills fast and that's really nice, but there are a few things that really hurt it and do probably stop it from being a top tier gun. Of course, before I get into any more detail, definitely let me know in the comments if you disagree with anything I've said here, because this section is a lot more of just my opinion and me talking, but the DRH is hurt quite a lot by firstly the magazine size, so you guys will find yourselves reloading a lot. Even though it has a slow-ish rate of fire, it's not so slow that it's like the ASM-10 kind of thing, and the ASM-10 maybe I can run without extended mags because it fires so slow, but even without extended mags it still has 30 rounds, which is a bit more than the extended mag DRH, and especially in COD Mobile where the maps are really small, and especially in ranked when people tend to be quite aggressive, and if you're playing in objective mode you'll be going into gunfights against 1, 2, or like even 3 people, and as soon as you get into 2 or 3, this gun definitely falls off a bit, because if you miss a bunch of shots on your first guy or whatever, or you're still holding the trigger while you sort of transfer your spray, so you finish killing one guy and you like swipe across the screen while you're still shooting to try and drop the other guy, you might run out of ammo by then, and if you're caught reloading, yes, the reload is not too slow, but it's not very fast either, and it can catch you out, especially if you use this gun at close range. The unfortunate thing is that most of the time you will be using this weapon at close range to get the most out of that 3-shot kill, which is of course the standout stat on this gun, and if you're caught reloading and there's a guy right next to you, you're gonna die like pretty much 100% of the time, so that is something that you really have to watch out for. So if you have a good bit of cover, you really got to be ducking in and out of that as you reload. The next kind of disadvantage of this weapon, like, I know this sounds really negative, it's like all these things that are bad about the gun, but obviously we've talked about the really good part already, which is the time to kill, but the next thing that's sort of holding it back is the OTM ammo only doing the bonus damage in the chest, so the arms blocking it, as I mentioned, that is actually quite a big problem. Like, I don't know if you guys remember with the Outlaw, but that was pretty much considered one of the worst sniper rifles in the game, because the arms weren't a one-shot kill, and people would hit the arms all the time, and they would get so many hit markers, and it was just really frustrating all around, so that does hurt this gun quite a lot as well. And when you really need to be getting that 3-shot kill, because a 4-shot kill makes this a very slow killing weapon at close range, right? We have other 4-shot kill guns in the game like the HBR, which I love running, you guys see me use it in pretty much every stream, the KM44 and the LK24, they all fire much faster and they all have a 4-shot kill, so if you are only hitting the arms at close range, which you will be doing a lot, it's not very good for this weapon as well. The last kind of negative thing I want to talk about on this gun is the screen shake when you're shooting. So as I said before, they've kind of taken that from Modern Warfare, and in Modern Warfare I think it's awesome. I think that the way they've done guns in Modern Warfare, they feel really good and they're really fun to use, and it feels more like a gun than, I mean, I've never fired a gun, but to me, like what a gun should be, rather than just this kind of blaster that you point at people and you kind of just click on them and it makes a bit of, sound and light and it takes them down. But in Modern Warfare, that's fine. All the weapons have screen shake, so they're all pretty well balanced, but in Call of Duty Mobile, where a lot of the weapons are kind of like laser beams, you just point and you spray them and they're really easy, this also hurts the weapon quite a lot. Again, as you guys know, like toughness, the perk, is dedicated to basically reducing your like aim bouncing around when you're getting shot. This is kind of like that, or that disadvantage, that an entire perk is dedicated towards like cancelling out, but it's all the time regardless of whether you're getting shot or not, and that's kind of something that I don't think is being talked about enough on this weapon. It does feel like a weapon from a different game almost, and unfortunately that hurts it as well. If all the other weapons were like this, it wouldn't really be that bad. Unfortunately, most of the other guns in COD Mobile are not like that, so it does really hurt the DRH, but where I do think it shines and where I do think you should be using it is 1v1 gunfights, and for ranked that means search and destroy. So going up against this weapon in Search and Destroy is kind of painful, because it can just take you out in that like quick pop-up one-on-one fight so fast, and then you won't have a chance to respawn or do anything for the rest of the round. In Search and Destroy, it's less likely to get just these kind of continuous wave of enemies rushing onto the point like in Hardpoint or Domination, so for just taking out one enemy and then just disappearing back while your team covers you or something like that, this gun is really good there, and I would highly recommend it in Search and Destroy if you really want to use this weapon at all. Obviously, in S&D, time to kill weapons are kind of king. You guys have seen this with the MSMC as well. Overall, guys, this is a really fun weapon and I really do enjoy using it, but the verdict is that while it's a good solid assault rifle, it's not quite in that top tier where the HBR and the KM44 are. But anyway, this video is running a little bit long, let's get to the attachments. To me, honestly, I don't always say this, but I really do think that there is only one viable attachment combination on this gun. The only choice you really have is whether you want to run an optic or not. So firstly, I'm going to recommend against that, and I'm going to say go with iron sights because you need to be aiming at people faster and killing them faster. Time to kill is the name of the game with this weapon, and the iron sights honestly are pretty clear, so you won't have too much issues with that. That's honestly a really nice change because in a lot of games I played, especially if you guys have played Battlefield 4, the Sky H iron sights are disgusting, so it's really nice to see good iron sights on this weapon. For the first attachment, I've got obviously the OTM ammo, more damage. Why wouldn't you take that? I've already said that earlier. That's all good. The next attachment is extended mag because 20 rounds is like, you'll be spending more time reloading than shooting. I kid you not. Well, okay, maybe, but the DRH really needs that extended mag. Even with 28 rounds, it doesn't feel like anywhere close to enough, but that's what we'll have to go with, and that'll do for now. And finally, the last attachment is quick draw. That's the same rationale as the iron sight, so you want to be aiming faster to shoot your enemies faster and kill them faster. That is my attachment setup, but one thing I want to note is that when the update drops, as you guys have seen in the test server maybe, that there's going to be 5 attachment slots, again like Modern Warfare. This gun could become a lot better if it doesn't get nerfed because once you have more attachment slots, you'll be able to do more with this weapon. A couple of them are kind of taken up already by things you just have to have on already, so I'm really looking forward to that. But that is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you learned anything or if you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I'll be back with more, and I'll see you all in the next one.